Hey everyone. So my name is Andy. I'm a psychic starseed. I have a lot of spiritual gifts. Many of them declares telepath, and I'm a medium. This download that I'm putting out today, it, it, it is a download, but it's been a guided download. I've been given specific books and documents to investigate and research, and what I have to put out is very disturbing. And so I'm also prefacing this with a trigger warning, please. What I have found and what I am disclosing to you, I do have cited documentation on from multiple sources, but what I'm going to read from today is from the U.S. Labor Party report. It's called a book called Dope Inc. Dope Incorporated, forgive me. And they did a 100-person investigation. This was the U.S. Labor Party. The book's available for you to buy online. You may even be able to find it for free. I believe I did. So please feel free. But what I am about to share with you is very, very real. And it is like I said, a U.S. Labor Party investigation. It was a 100-person investigation into the British Crown and their choice to traffic drugs into multiple countries, not the least of which is the United States. So I'm going to explain it in the vernacular that I understand it, but that's not real great. So make fun if you need to. I would. I make fun of me every day. And again, most of this seems to have started with King George III, or at least it's become most prominent during that period of time. The Chinese did the opium for the British. They manufactured it in Shanghai and shipped it from Hong Kong, which was a British free port. They shipped to Canada, where the Bronfmans allowed access, and from there it is trafficked into the United States. The British and the United States 1% finance all organized crime, which push out the various different kinds of drugs that are manufactured in Hong Kong and Shanghai. I guess all forms of opium must be called dope. That was very confusing for me when I was researching this, and I've been investigating these people for 5 years. But the money they make is called retail sales drugs, meaning when they exchange money for the narcotics, that money that they make, that term is called retail sales drugs. Retail drug sales. That doesn't get taxed, if you needed to know. I was curious. It does not. That money gets laundered, and I had to Google that, so I'm going to explain that too. When they launder the money, that means that they're hiding the source of the money. And so the way that the British do that is through a bank called Hong Sheng. As I explained, Hong Sheng seems to the U.S. Labor Party the primary source by which that the British Crown launders the money of the drugs that they manufacture. And yes, the British Crown, everything that I'm stating was called out by name. I'm not stating anything. I'm not making assertions. It was just all called out as such. The British are or were very aggressive, and they have been historically very, very aggressive when the Chinese didn't want their opium anymore. Quite poor manners in my mind, by the way. The investigation report goes on to state that most of it started with King George III, and that most of the founding fathers were double agents, and that their disloyalty to the American people was a way for King George not to have to finance a further war. I guess he was tapped out. Anyway, I am personally 5 years into my own investigation. The same individuals that are turning up in the Epstein files and the things that they are turning up all relate to Satanism and are all the same people that I have been investigating for 5 years. All the things that I have been putting out, it is all the same groups. The same groups that were targeting the people on Epstein's Island are the same corrupt groups that have been targeting the starseeds and immigrants. The British are the source of all organized crimes. Through funding, through financing, through third parties, through the United States 1%. They are the source of drugs. They are the source of Satanism. All of it. Racism, the slave trade, they call it slaveocracy. That's the phrase for it. And the cotton picking days, the British financed the Civil War. The British financed all of it. The cotton was actually picked to help legitimize, the word is I couldn't find, legitimize the opium business. So they needed a legitimate business, so they decided to grow cotton to legitimize the opium business. Um, all of it sources back to the occult groups. So if you aren't familiar with the occult groups, you really and truly need to be. I don't like them, like as in I don't participate in them, but I became aware of them because of the targeting of the star seeds. And the targeting of the star seeds was driven by the Freemason community and the Satanic Illuminati, which, as I stated before, is driven by the British. And I don't think you're going to be surprised with everything going on in the news. A Prince Andrew person, all of those people in Parliament and the British Crown are doing the exact same things to the star seeds that I've been asserting that they are finding out in the papers. It's all the same. It's nothing's different. No, there's no difference. I've, like I said, been investigating these people for 5 years. The Clintons, who just testified on the Epstein files, they should not have testified anything at all. They are Satanists with them. And most people who have done any sort of research on this can tell you that verbatim. The cabinet, most of the cabinet are Freemasons. They're Satanists. They're witches. They're all involved in the same organization. Epstein and most of that stuff that's in those files, it's all satanic. And most people don't understand that those were specific agendas that were being run. Let me divert for a second from that report. Are you familiar with Operation Sea Spray? It was forms of contagions that were sprayed over the San Francisco area in the 50s. Now, the United States government did this to its own people. How about Operation Bacterium, where they decided to drop light bulbs of pathogens, suitcases of pathogens in airports and subways because they wanted to see how the pathogens would affect the population? If you think your government is not testing stuff on its own people, you are not paying attention to what they're putting out in their own documents. They are capable of astrally spying. It's in their documents. If they are capable of astrally spying, they are capable of remote viewing. It's in their own documents. They are capable of turning a candidate into what they call a Manchurian candidate, where they claim that they can make him say what they want. All kinds of stuff in there. They have no problem testing LSD on American citizens. I've got all kinds of documents on that. They run entire brothels using sex-based interrogation techniques. There's multiple assassinations. Even this report that I'm citing, this Dope Incorporated, cites the CIA being involved with President Kennedy and potentially President Abraham Lincoln's assassinations. These people are mad dogs. John Ratcliffe and Pete Hegseth are currently running an unsanctioned DoD operative on American psychics. Those two are running an esoteric mafia. They are mad dogs that need to be stopped. They are out of control. That CIA agency is out of control.